Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse 28. Ato dichim disham yatu svairajnatha gatir bhavan ito arva prayasakala pumsam guna vikharshana. Ato dichim disham yatu svairajnatha gatir bhavan itorva prayasa khala pumsam guna vikarshana. Ato dichim disham yatu svairajnatha gatir bhavan itorva prayasa khala pumsam guna vikarshana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms. Atha, therefore. Udaichim, northern side. Disham, direction. Yatu, please go away. Sway, by your relatives. Ajnata, without knowledge. Gati, movements. Bhavan, of yourself. Itha, after this. Arvak, will usher in. Prayasha, generally. Kala, time. Pumsam, of men. Guna, qualities. Vikarshana, diminishing. Translation. Please repeat after me. Please, therefore, leave for the north immediately without letting your relatives know. For soon the time will approach which will diminish the good qualities of men. Purport. One can compensate for a life of frustration by becoming a Dira or leaving home for good without communicating with relatives, and Vidura advised his eldest brother to adopt this way without delay, because very quickly the age of Kali was approaching. A conditioned soul is already degraded by the material association. And still in the Kali Yuga, the good qualities of man will deteriorate to the lowest standard. He was advised to leave home before Kali Yuga approached, because the atmosphere which was created by Vidura, his valuable instructions on the facts of life, would fade away due to the influence of the age which was fast approaching. To become Narottama, or a first-class human being, depending completely on the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, is not possible for any ordinary man. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.28 that a person who is completely relieved of all chains of sinful acts can only depend on the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Dhritarashtra was advised by Vidura at least to become a Dhira in the beginning, if it were impossible for him to become a sannyasi or a Narottama. Persistently enduring on the line of self-realization helps a person to rise to the conditions of a Narottama from the stage of a Dhira. The Dhira stage is attained after prolonged practice of the yoga system. But by the grace of Vidura, one can attain the stage immediately, simply by willing to adopt the means of the Dhira stage, which is the preparatory stage for sannyasa. The sannyasa stage is the preparatory stage for Paramahamsa, or the first great devotee of the Lord. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukam Garo Divachalam Pangun Langai Tegiri Matkirpatamamante Sri Gurum Deratharidam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swamini Thinamine Namo Acharya Padaya Nithaya Kripa Pradayine Gauragatha Damadaya Nagara Grama Tharine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Thinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavade Paschatya Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudanam. So this is a very beautiful verse, and the purport is very wonderful by Srila Prabhupada. Vidura is giving association to qualify Dhritarashtra so that he can become a Dhira without undergoing the yogic process, which are preliminary and practices and the prerequisites to become a Dhira. This is the mercy of Vaishnava, which is costless. If Dhritarashtra cannot be a renounced scholar, if he cannot become a devotee, if he cannot become a first-class personality, at least he can save himself from the clutches of Maya, the fallen age of Kali, from the degraded life that he is already performing, which is of no use. There is no meaning to his breathing. So Vidura's quality is very exalted, that by simply making Dhritarashtra think that, yes, I have to become Dhira. Because of the presence of Vidura, that becomes possible for Dhritarashtra. So, this is possible. If you cannot become a devotee, at least one can become a Dhira. So, Dhira means at least you have the determination to give up your so-called kids and kins and families and relations and other, communicating aspect of your life. And this is the way, and this has to happen immediately or suddenly. So Vidura has given him association, making Dhritarashtra think that he should quit home. The moment he thought quit home because of the presence of Vidura, it becomes very easy and very possible. And it is very much practical for, persons like Dhritarashtra. And today in Kali Yuga, almost every family has Dhritarashtra. So this is the current, because Kali has already approached. So because Kali has approached, these kind of instructions may not be influential because of the influence of time in the form of Kali. So, because as Dhritarashtra we saw is most degraded personality 5,000 years ago, today everyone in the Kali Yuga is a degraded personality. After all, Dhritarashtra was a Kshatriya, but in Kali, Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Everybody is very fallen, and as well as their condition, and then they are influenced by Kali, so they are Upadrita, always disturbed. Mental disturbance and physical disturbances are always there. Because in Kali Yuga, the good qualities of man will deteriorate to the lowest standard. So that's going on already. We are witnessing all over the world around us. So, and here Vidura is advising Dhritarashtra, immediately you leave home because Kali Yuga is approaching. And before the Kali Yuga dominates, you better get out of your house. It's not your house after all. So, this kind of atmosphere is created by the wonderful exalted devotees like Vidura, and people like Dhritarashtra can at least find a salvation for themselves rather than getting entanglement. So now, to become a first-class person or Nara Uttama is not an ordinary thing. First of all, like Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityacha Mamekam Sharanam Raja. You have to give up all the so-called Kshatriya Dharma or any Dharma that you are following, thinking that I am a religious personality, I am a good person. This kind of activities you first of all give up. And then Mamekam Sharanam Raja, surrender unto Krishna. Bow down before him, think of him, surrender unto him everything. Think you are exclusively depending on only Krishna. Aham tam sarva papebhyo. Then he will relieve you from all kind of sinful reactions, both in the past and in the present and in the future. So once you are into that kind of sinless platform, then you have an opportunity to accept the instructions of an exalted personality, the Vaishnavas or the devotee. So this is the first and foremost qualification to become even a Dhira, that you should become sinless. And once you become sinless, then you will be able to understand. So Srila Prabhupada has given a very beautiful, what I can say, weapon to fight against Kali, not even fight against Kali, to protect you from the Kali in such a way that Kali can't even touch you, though he will be near you. He won't even touch you. How does it happen? Simply by following strictly 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. These are all the 4 pillars where the Kali establishes himself in one's life. If these 4 things are, forbidden things in the Kali Yuga, and if you follow strictly these particular instructions, and how easy it is to follow, if you keep yourself in the Vaishnavas association, it is very easy to follow. If you hear regularly Srimad Bhagavatam, if you regularly chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, regularly every day 16 rounds, then it is possible to easily follow the strictly 4 regulative principles. So you become sinless, and once you are becoming sinless, then it is not very difficult to become a Narottama, because you are already in the association of Narottamas, and you accept a spiritual master who is a Narottama. Then follow his instructions, hear from him regularly every day. So this is a very, very fortunate position. Okay, so our spiritual masters, Jayapada Swami Guru Maharaj, we are very fortunate that every day he is giving very small, 20 minutes maximum, but a very relishable, Lord Chaitanya's pastime. This is not an ordinary even. And we get to hear him every day regularly. So we should take full advantage of that. He is such a wonderful Narottama, and he is a representative of Nityananda Prabhu. Simply by oral reception from such a personality, you will be able to experience the ecstatic love for Krishna, what to speak of becoming sinless or becoming a Dhira or becoming a renowned scholar or becoming anything. You don't need to become anything. You have to simply become a devotee. And for that, there is no qualification. The only qualification is you accept a bona fide spiritual master like Jayaprada Swami Guru Maharaj, hear from him regularly and chant your holy name very nicely. And that's all. Follow 4 regulative principles. So this is not really called, I can say, rules and regulation or something. This is the etiquette, or this is the process, or this is the way. Okay. So it is like, putting your hands on the steering wheel to drive a car is not a rule. But then you have to, in order to drive, you have to handle that steering. It's like that. In order to, become successful in life, to take full association of these particular wonderful personalities, the Narottamas, you need to simply follow the 4 regulative principles, chant in rounds, and speak of it. Preach the same thing to others. So this kind of, this, we don't even call it even self-realization. It's beyond that. What to speak of then Dhira. It's like Paramahamsa. Directly you are putting the platform of Paramahamsa because Paramahamsas are giving you association. Why should they give you association to become just a Dhira, or just to become a renowned scholar, or just to become, detacher, or just to become something? They will give you where they are. So they give what they have. So Paramahamsas giving you association to make you Paramahamsas. Srila Prabhupada has told that all my Grahastha disciples must become Paramahamsas. And Guru Maharaj has repeatedly told in the last month, many of his wonderful speeches of Lord Chaitanya book, that all his disciples, Grahastha disciples, should become Paramahamsa. He also told how you can become Paramahamsa. All the Grahastha disciples should chant 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. Worship Gaurnitai, eat prasadam, read Srila Prabhupada books, and preach. Then chant 16 rounds regularly, follow 4 regulative principles. There is nothing more or less. And this makes a grahastha who is working and earning money and living in the society of non-devotees along with his family and kids and kins. He can be a Paramahamsa, thus being an example in the exalted personality in the society. All other society men and women would also follow to become Paramahamsa. So this is Guru Maharaj. Not only, it's not just an instruction, he is empowering us and engaging us to become Paramahamsas. So we should simply follow what Guru says and your life will be successful. Not only that, through you, many others' life also will be successful. Hare Krishna. So this is the purport of the purport. Let's go to the next verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse 29. Evam Raja Vidurena Prajna Chakshur Bodhita Ajamidha Chitva Sveshu Sneha Pashandradimno Nishchakrama Bhratru Sandarshithadva. Evam Raja Vidurena Anujena Prajna Chakshur Bodhita Ajamidha Chitva Sveshu Sneha Pashandradimno Nishchakrama Bhratru Sandarshithadva. Evam Raja Vidurena Anujena Prajna Chakshur Bodhita Ajamidha Chitva Sveshu Sneha Pashandradamno Nishchakrama Bhratru Sandarshithadva. Synonyms. Evam, thus. Raja, King Dhritarashtra. Vidurena Anujena, by his younger brother Vidura. Prajna, introspective knowledge. Chakshu, eyes. Bodhita, being understood. Ajamida, Dhritarashtra, son of the family of Ajamida. Chitwa, by breaking. Sveshu, regarding kinsmen. Sneha Pashan, strong network of affection. Dradhimna, because of steadfastness. Nishchakrama, got out. Bratra, by his brother. Sandarshita, direction to. Adwa, the path of liberation. Translation, please repeat after me. Thus, Maharaja Dhritarashtra, the son of the family of Ajamida, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, prajna, broke at once the strong network of familial affection. By his resolute determination. Thus, he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation, as directed by his younger brother Vidura. Purport. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great preacher of the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, has stressed the importance of association with sadhus, pure devotees of the Lord. He said that even by a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can achieve all perfection. We are not ashamed to admit that this fact was experienced in our practical life. Were we not favored by His Divine Grace Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaja by our first meeting for a few minutes only, it would have been impossible for us to accept this mighty task of describing Srimad Bhagavatam in English. Without seeing him at that opportune moment, we could have become a very great business magnate, but never would we have been able to walk the path of liberation and be engaged in the factual service of the Lord under instructions of His Divine Grace. And here is another practical example by the action of Vidura's association with Dhritarashtra. Maharaja Dhritarashtra was tightly bound in a network of material affinities related to politics, economy, and family attachment, and he did everything in his power to achieve so-called success in his planned projects. But he was frustrated from the beginning to the end, so far as his material activities were concerned. And yet, despite his life of failure, he achieved the greatest of all success in self-realization by the forceful instructions of a pure devotee of the Lord, who is the typical emblem of a sadhu. The scriptures enjoin, therefore, that one should associate with sadhus only, rejecting all other kinds of association. And by doing so, one will have ample opportunity to hear the sadhus, who can cut to pieces the bonds of illusory affection in the material world. It is a fact that the material world is a great illusion because everything appears to be a tangible reality, but at the next moment evaporates like the dashing foam of the sea or a cloud in the sky. A cloud in the sky undoubtedly appears to be a reality because it rains. And due to rains, so many temporary green things appear. But in the ultimate issue, everything disappears, namely the cloud, rain, and green vegetation, all in due course. But the sky remains. And the varieties of sky or luminaries also remain forever. Similarly, the absolute, which is compared to the sky, remains eternally. And the temporary cloud-like illusion comes and goes away. Foolish living beings are attracted by the temporary cloud, but intelligent men are more concerned with the eternal sky with all its variegatedness. Hari Om Tat Sat. So, very wonderfully, Vidura is telling Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra has accepted finally the instruction from his younger brother Vidura. Because of Vidura's purity, because of Vidura being a pure devotee, and because of his association, Dhritarashtra was in the resolute determination. It is not the quality of Dhritarashtra to be such a resolute determination or to be attached or to be detached from any kind of material hankerings. He has been so much attached and entangled, most entangled personality, and due to his attachment and entanglement, every attempt he made not only was a mistake, but also it was a failure. He has undergone a life of failure, the life full of failure activities from the very beginning of his birth. That is Dhritarashtra. But even such a person can get his resolute determination and cut the familial affection at once and move away. That is not his credit. This is because of the association, a little bit of time that Vidura spoke to Dhritarashtra now. So, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoya. Even for a moment's association of an exalted personality, a pure devotee, a Vaishnava, is Sarva Siddhi Hoya. It can bring in all kind of perfection in one's life. Then what to speak of Dhritarashtra? So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been preaching Srimad Bhagavatam and is recommending everyone to preach Srimad Bhagavatam, because in that he has stressed the importance of association with the sadhus or the pure devotees of the Lord. So even one moment of his association can achieve all kind of perfections to anyone. So here Srila Prabhupada is quoting himself as an example in life. He says he is not ashamed to admit this fact because Guru Srila Prabhupada was a student, and then Srila Prabhupada was a businessman. And he could have become a very big, successful business magnate of the world, most famous and most rich maybe. But then what happened was he had just a few minutes of association of his divine grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. That was the first meeting of Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Just a few minutes only it happened. And that has converted Srila Prabhupada totally from becoming a very successful materialistic personality in his life, which is also an example for others, but it has become, he has re-spiritualization, he has brought in many millions of people on the face of the earth. This is a mighty task. Writing the whole Srimad Bhagavatam in English is not an ordinary task. Nevertheless, nobody before. So this is very, very important to understand that Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, those few minutes of association of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, has made Srila Prabhupada write this wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam in English. In the opportune moment, Srila Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And if he has not met, Prabhupada admits here in his own purport that I would have become a big business magnate, great business magnate, but never would I have been able to walk the path of liberation and be engaged in the factual service of the Lord under the instruction of his divine grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And millions of souls are getting liberated and getting prema and engaged in pure devotion service continuously, even after Srila Prabhupada gave up his body. Such is the moment and association that he has established here. Though physically is not present, he is able to provide his association. He has understood the valuable association of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and now in turn, he is able to provide association even in his absence, and he has created similar gurus behind him so that they can give live association to the existing fallen conditioned souls, and by that association, these fallen conditioned souls can become not just liberated, but get Krishna Prem and engaged in their original constitutional position of serving the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna. No, this is not an ordinary event that's happening, and we are witnessing, we are part of the pastime now because of this Srila Prabhupada. So here Vidura also gave a few minutes to Dhritarashtra by advising him what he should do, what he should not. And that association was so powerful that the most entangled person, Dhritarashtra, who can never cut off his affection, even after death of his sons, he still maintained the affection, or he has cut from all kind of, kids and kins and anything that is material. And he was able to, with resolute determination, was able to get out of the house without caring for anyone, relatives or friends or enemies or otherwise. So this is the power of the association of a pure devotee like Vidura or pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. So this particular thing, otherwise in the material world, whatever you make a plan and you try to make attempt your plan successful, the end result would be always frustration. And insofar these kind of projects are considered material activities, they are from the beginning to end, it is only giving frustration. Absolutely, there is no any betterment, there is no anything good, there is no any peace or prosperity or happiness or anything found in, millions of projects that are going on the surface of the earth by the people who thinks they're qualified to perform what they're doing. And so everybody's life becomes a uttermost failure attempt. By looking at others, they also, everybody is already failure, and looking at those failure, they are taking them as an example and following like a blind, where, follows another blind. So they don't know where they are going, but they need to get association, at least a lava matra, a moment of association of pure devotee like Guru Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada or any Vaishnavas like you, so that they can turn their direction of their life of ignorant path into a knowledgeable path to perform devotional service, get to hear the holy name and pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna from the lotus mouth of some Vaishnavas, and then become situated as a dhira in the resolute devotional service. Uttermost resolution, determination on the path of resolution is required on the devotional service to establish oneself into the realm of devotional service platform, rather than just get detachment from the material affections or material relations. Because rejecting all other kind of association and taking up Krishna consciousness is not the way. Just add Krishna to your life is the simplest way. You don't need to give up anything, and everything will be given up automatically. Something like whenever there is light is introduced, the darkness, you don't need to perform any activity to remove the darkness of the room. Simply allow the light inside and the darkness is lost automatically. So you don't need to give up anything. Just add this chanting of the holy name in your life, and add Krishna consciousness and the sadhu sangha in your life, add Bhagavatam in your life. That's all. You keep adding these wonderful things in your life that can make your life better and better. You don't need to practically give up anything. Automatically, the darkness of ignorance, the darkness of materialistic existence, the signs of material will automatically dissipate in your life, in your very same life, when you are present in the very same body, if you simply accept this Krishna consciousness in your life. So this is the purport here given by Srila Prabhupada very beautifully. So he has given a very wonderful analogy also here to understand that the material world is a great illusion, he says. Because everything appears to be tangible. It's very real. And the next moment, it evaporates like the dashing foam of the sea or a cloud in the sky. The cloud in the sky is a very good analogy Srila Prabhupada is giving. The cloud in the sky is a tangible cloud that you are able to see, the color, the texture, the form, it movements, everything you are able to see. And you can experience that because when there is cloud, there is rain also. And because when there is rain, there is also greenery vegetable appear. But you should understand that including the cloud and the rain and the green thing, everything will disappear. Everything will disappear because it's momentary. It's very, 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 very momentary, and it's very temporary. It's not real thing. So we must understand that. On the other hand, the sky is eternal, and the stars and the skies are eternal. They don't disappear. They are not temporary. So we must understand in the similar way that in our life, whatever the so-called activities and relations and everything is like a cloud and the rain and the vegetation. Okay, this will disappear certainly, but we should not hanker behind it or, understand, oh, this is true because it is tangible. It is only true. No, it is untrue. It is untrue because it is temporary. So as an intelligent personality, you should be more concerned with the eternal sky with all its variegatedness. That is to establish yourself into the association of pure devotees and establish yourself in the performance of devotional service. Thank you very much. So any questions or comments or realization you can share with me. 5, 4, 3.
So Haribol.
Haribol.
So we are following like Vidura and Srila Prabhupada, like our Guru Maharaj, we are following the same way actually, right?
Yes, we are following Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. And what to speak of then Vidura? Naturally, they are all into place. And so our life is guaranteed to be a successful attempt. We are not wasting time. And we are not, Dhritarashtra wasted his whole life, but still he was fortunate enough because of Vidura's association, he was able to make his life successful at the last moment. But we are not very fortunate to wait till the last moment. We are more fortunate to have the Guru in our life when we are young itself. So this is our fortunate, and we must understand the seriousness and engage maximum time in performing devotional service, or whatever we are doing, convert into devotional service by connecting to Guru and Krishna.
Okay, satsanga means all should be initiated devotees, or if we are taking the Bhakti Ursa class, these are also satsanga.
That is also satsanga.
So become a devotee, so they are also satsanga.
Yes.
Okay. Haribol. Thank you.
Very well. Good question. Good. Thank you so much. Nice comments.
Okay.
5, 4, 3. Yeah, they will listen later.
Okay.
1, 0. Thank you very much for your association. So let's get back tomorrow sharp at 7 o'clock to continue Srimad Bhagavatam class after chanting the holy name of the Lord. Till then, Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Patita Pavan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavat Satsang ki jai. Vaishnav Pranam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari. Thank you.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari. Thank you very much. Number 2 she is also there.